I just researched 3 years of pricing data on eBay for the Warhammer Christmas Battleforce boxes, and I'm passing that research onto you.
And I am passing the savings on to you.
Every year, Games Workshop puts out single production run Christmas Battleforce boxes for a handful of factions for Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar. If your boys get a box and you miss out on it, it could be years before your boys get the Battleforce treatment again. Do you need to rush to get those boxes while they're in stock? If you buy a Battleforce box and it sits on your shelf of shame, you know, that's a big sore thumb sitting out there. But if the value goes up and you resist the urge to rip that plastic, maybe you feel a little bit better about the fact that you had to eat bugs for a week to pay for it. I'm Jackson Warfield with Jackson Warfield's Game Room, but for today's video, we're moving over to Jackson Warfield's War Room, which is over here.
The war machine, gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
All right. Now, before we get into the data, a few caveats. First of all, going back 3 years to cover edition changes for Warhammer 40,000 and for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. A lot has changed over 3 years, but at least the Battleforce boxes from 3 years ago are being released at the same point in the edition as the ones this year. Second point, all of these prices are from worthpoint.com. Now, I'm not sponsored by worthpoint.com. I'm not that big time yet. In Soviet Russia, YouTuber sponsors you. For the starting price point of each of these Battleforce boxes, I'm assuming that we're at the MSRP minus 15% discount that you get at basically every online retailer that's not Games Workshop. Obviously, this has gone up a little bit each year, and that'll be reflected in the charts. And I'm also summarizing this data by 6-month intervals. There actually isn't quite enough auction data to do it, say, month by month. It would be a little bit all over the place. Plus, someone will randomly get a Battleforce box with seemingly for like $100 once in a while, and then someone will sell one for like 500. It doesn't, you have to, get more data there. All right, so the first group of Battleforces that we're gonna look at, the 2021 Warhammer 40K Battleforce boxes. The yellow arrow here, that's just also shows the edition change. That's gonna be consistent with all the different charts. Of note here, all of the Battleforce boxes gradually increased in price. The Kildeka Warband took the longest. The Kildeka Warband took over a year before the price started escalating a little bit. Omnisized Talon's price went up a little bit in 2023, although admittedly some of that might be because a lot of people were selling Omnisized Talon with next year's Elimination Maniple. Some of the data might be a bit blended there. Plague Fester Warband has consistently been one of the most expensive Battleforce boxes over the time frame I'm looking at. Although also Shieldbreaker Strikeforce with a nice little increase at the end there. As of now, all the 2021 40K Battleforce boxes going for prices over $250 and in some cases over $300. Moving on to 2022, where we had 6 Battleforce boxes. That was nice when that was a normal thing. The Council of the Deathlord box for the Death Guard is another box that would get sometimes combined with the previous year's Battleforce box. So some of those prices might going to be a bit elevated, but after looking at that data, I actually think that that's a genuine increase. Mortarion probably has a lot to do with that price. Chainbreaker Lance is arguably the greatest Battleforce box of the past 3 years. Its price shot up as it went out of stock very quickly and continued to increase, settling in around $350 per box right now. The Watchers of the Gate box for Custodes shot up with Chainbreaker Lance, but did not keep the price there and appears to have dropped off a little bit as of late. Maybe check eBay for one of those boxes. Court of the Crimson King, so that's the Thousand Suns box featuring Magnus, went up and actually didn't have any data for the last 6 months or so. Hell, maybe that'll increase just like Council of the Deathlord has, as they both have the Demon Primarchs. Elimination Maniple, I don't quite understand. This one appeared to have dropped in price and was really easy to get. I do remember this not being as great a Battleforce box. Maybe this was the end of AdMech players getting nice things. And you also had Sanctorum Guard, which probably would have done a little bit worse if not for the fact that it's probably has some data mixed in there with the Purgatos mission from 2021, which I kind of glossed over, as well as World Scour Legion, because those just increased in price. They were just right in line there. 2023, the 40K boxes, we had 6. We had Defenders of the Ancestors. That's the Leagues of Votann box. Has really gone up in price. There's probably a limited range for Votann. This is easily the best way to get into Leagues of Votann of any offerings out there. Exalted of the Rain Angel following the Primarch trend, and over $300 for that box now, even though it's only been a year. And Onslaught Swarm is nearly there as well. So a lot of boxes with a lot of increasing value here. Beast Snaga Stampede is creeping up on $300, may get there soon, as well as the Cadian Defense Force, which was a little bit difficult to summarize because sometimes people were selling it with an spelling defense with an S because that's how we spell it in America. The Spearhead Force, however, has taken its time increasing in price. So it appears that some of the 40K boxes will actually take a while before the prices shoot up. But the 2023 charts here, you know, this is your stock and investing portfolio. You're doing well. Moving over to Age of Sigmar. I'll say this chart looks nothing like the 40K charts. The 4 boxes from 2021, we had the Venari Shining Host, which not only do I not have any sales for the last 6 months, but has kind of been stable in price. The Revenant Legion for the Soul Blight Grave Lord. So far, they've been the hot one of this batch, with the price going up over $200 in early 2022 and staying there, but it's just barely gone over $250 now, and the box has been out for almost 3 years. The Slanesh Sybarite Blade Carnival box took almost 3 years before its price actually started to lift off of the standard MSRP. Ossiarch Bone Reapers Mortis and Tithe Echelon box appears to have come back down in price and has never really taken off. Immediate takeaway here for Age of Sigmar boxes, these are not increasing in price the way 40K boxes are. Moving into 2022, a bit of the same story, although there were 7 boxes here, so apologies if this is a bit of a chaotic chart. The Cruel Boys Swamp Lurkers have shot up of late. They've actually almost hit $300. That may be a legitimate price increase. I know they were also part of the Dominion sets to start off 3rd edition Age of Sigmar, so maybe there's a little bit more of a market there for the Cruel Boys boxes. Meanwhile, you have a bunch that were staying together for the last 2 years. Legion of Grief for the Night Haunt, Revenant Wargrove for Sylvaneth, the Verminous Host for Skaven, and the Thunderstrike Spearhead for Stormcast Eternals. They've all kind of stuck around the same price. The Stampeding Squiggalaunch for Gloomspike actually was the hot box for the first 6 months there, but all the prices for the different boxes have caught up to it as of late. So a lot of these boxes are settling around $250, except for the Daughters of Cain, the Cainite Slaughter Coven. They're, for some reason, they're following the 2021 trend. They haven't really increased at all. And for 2023, the Sigmar boxes, they're off to a little bit of a better start. The Primordial Star Host box for the Seraphon, it's almost at $250 as of this recording. Praetorian Spearhead for the Ossiarch Bone Reapers has started to increase as well, as maybe not keeping up with the Primordial Star Host, but maybe we'll hit $250 in the near future. The Slaves to Darkness Warhorde of Eternus box hasn't seen much of an increase, and the Vangorian Court for Soulblight for Soulblight Grave Lords has actually gone down. It's following the Cainite Slaughter Coven price trend here. Finally, one more chart here. I thought about putting the year after year, the factions where they got battle forces multiple times in 3 years to see if there was a price impact, but I'll just say that there really wasn't much there. Here are how all of the release waves compare. For 40K, it looks like every release wave is on the same trend. It almost seems like the price of these boxes that you can get them at is now just reaching $300 no matter what year the box was released in. And with looking at how 2022 and 2023 played out, maybe it's likely that 2024, the prices will increase very quickly and get up to around that $300 mark. Age of Sigmar, however, has started to see some increases, but if anything, they're maybe back where 40K was 3 years ago. If we had gotten back to 2020 or 2019 for Battleforce boxes, which is earlier than my time with the game, maybe we'd see a similar trend here, where the Sigmar where maybe the 40K Battleforce boxes didn't shoot off the charts so quickly. So what are the takeaways? Almost all the 40K Battleforce boxes reached that $300 ceiling price. And I call that a ceiling price because that's what the price is for a lot of these boxes if you get the units separate as opposed to all in the box together. There's really no point of getting it all in a box at that point unless you just want it to be in a large box. It does look like also for 40K each year is seeing faster price escalation, so that's something to be aware of for 40K. For Age of Sigmar, the battle forces tend to stay below $250, at least so far, and for both games, no major changes with the turns of the editions. Now, what do we have to expect for the 2024 battle forces? 40K, expect those prices to go up very quickly. If that makes you feel better about buying it now and rushing and getting in line and getting one of those 40K battle force boxes, then maybe that's what you do. I'd say for the Sigmar boxes, though, it's less of a rush. But if you miss out on that and this turns out to be wrong, I am not a financial analyst. I'm just a collector just like you, and we'll see how this goes. A year ago when I launched this channel, it was Battleforce Day, and Battleforce Day is coming again, so I'm excited. Thanks for listening to Jackson Warfield's Game Room. I'll see you in the next one.
Uh-oh, guess what day